Can we do it?
Today.
Can we do it?
We're on a roll today.
We just started, so this is great. Hi.
Hey.
What are we talking about today?
Netflix originals.
The good and the bad?
Yeah, a couple of them at least. Our bests and our worsts. So, I think you mentioned in the last episode that it was going to be a big neon sign.
Oh, yeah. That Netflix can't do horror?
Yeah. And I mean, we talk about this tons.
Tons. We rag on it so much.
Probably should stop.
Well, okay, we only rag on the horror. We don't really rag on the...
No, they've got some good stuff.
Yeah.
But their horror is really... I mean, one of my things is their horror. So
yeah.
Actually, technically 2 of them. 3? 2.
Cool. So, let's see. We got 2 good and 2 awful from each of us. So, you can start with your good.
We'll start with my good movie, which, I mean, when we talked about it, you weren't really as much of a fan of it.
I don't hate it. Every time we talk about it, I am neither here nor there. I like it, but it's just not on my top, I guess.
Okay.
It was one of their better attempts.
It was definitely a lot more entertaining.
Much so.
Okay, anyway, so we're talking about The Ritual.
It is The Ritual, her number 1.
It's just keep going with, it was really entertaining, you know, they had some great plot and really good build up.
Where's everyone sitting there going, what are we talking about?
We're not going to tell them the movie. It's fine.
Instead of spoiling the plot, we're not going to spoil the name.
Exactly. Exactly. If you don't know what the name is, we're not spoiling anything. They start watching it and they're like, you know, this sounds really familiar.
I think I know this whole plot. I just don't know the name.
Yeah, so far it's one of my favorite Netflix original movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the pacing was really, really great. The music that they used was so suspenseful, mixed with all the ambient noise around them.
Yeah.
That was really good too, because I can't do horror movies that focus so much on music.
Yeah.
Like, there's the music that we've talked about that, like, gets into your soul and stuff.
They use it as almost a player in the movie.
Yeah, like Sinister
mm-hmm.
and that other movie that's coming up, Hereditary.
Fucking that trailer. That trailer gives me the creeps. Yeah. Anywho.
So, my notes are actually really funny about this. Because I'm just saying, poor baby, don't blame yourself. Well, because, okay, spoiler alert. His friend fucking dies.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
right in front of him.
In the first,
5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah. We see the flashback and then they go into their journey.
Yeah, so the flashback happens and they're all planning their big, bros trip together that they do every year. And then one of the guys who's the main character, he decides he wants to continue drinking for the night. And they go into a convenience store that's being robbed. And they had no idea. So... really shitty. He watched his friend die because his friend wouldn't give up his wedding ring.
Yeah.
And then they go on the fun trip. It's really fun. It's really gorgeous.
Yeah.
Until they get into the woods and it's less gorgeous and more trees.
Oh, the trees are pretty. That's why we fucking moved back to Washington. I was like, true. I miss trees.
That's true. I really like the scene. It's in the trailer, so I'm not worried about screwing this up for anybody, but the scene where they see the monster's hand for the first time. The
little tiny hand? Well, to us it looks like a regular hand, but... to the monster, it's a little tiny baby.
I love him. I love him because it's just like, oh, look at this nice human hand. Oh, this thing's taller than the trees. Where's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fucking... But that scene itself with all the... What is that? I can't even tell what that tree is. Long, skinny, white trees.
It's not birch.
No, it's something else. But anyways...
Scandinavian trees.
Something like that. That whole section right there was just so gorgeous because the forest was so dark and those trees were so light.
I really liked that the monster came out during the day, too.
I know!
Yeah, that was a really interesting new thing.
I know, usually the monster comes out at night.
Yeah.
But it was funny because he was, stalking during the day, but then he would attack at night. Yeah,
they did the weird psychological bullshit at night.
Yeah, so you had some sort of pause for a second. Anyways, I'm sure it'll edit fine.
You really couldn't get the word edit.
I'm not even can't do it again because I'll never be able to talk.
That's fine.
Yeah, he did his, like, psychological dream bullshit at night, which was fucked up. Because my thing was constantly in his dream with his friend. I thought it was going to be the monster.
Yeah.
But it was never that.
It was just a way to get them weak, I guess.
Yeah. Really, because the idea, I think, was to separate them.
I think, actually, if you look up, like, the Wikipedia, and then you actually break down the end scene, it's like the monster has been breaking them down, and the weakest person is supposed to want to join this culty thing.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do in the end, after all of his friends have died.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I can imagine that he is the weakest one. And he's been the weakest from the beginning because all of his friends that went with him, like, they didn't see what he saw.
And they kind of blame him.
Yeah, and that's kind of fucked up.
It really is.
I understand blaming your friend for, like, not standing up. But unless you're in the moment of that kind of thing, you have no idea how they were feeling.
That was my thought, too.
I definitely wanted a lot more monster time, though.
There was a lot of, like, peekaboo here and there, and then the last, like, 10 minutes is just monster.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great. But, I think it would have been a lot cooler to get some more monster time, more of that little village people time.
Yeah, we really never saw the village until, like, the last...
Until they showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the whole village was being rampaged because they burned all the ancient people. The definitely, like, corpses that just breathed weird.
Yeah. That was fucking creepy.
That was so creepy. The effigy had me fucked up in the beginning, though.
Yeah, when he was worshipping in front of it. Yeah, that was weird.
That fucked me up. Yeah, it's my favorite.
Is your favorite movie?
Yeah, I was upset about the end, though. Now that I really think about it, because I understand being confined to the line of the forest, but he was like 10 feet outside the line of the forest. Just fucking get your little creepy hands and go, ha ha.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to do your Netflix movie and then TV?
We can do
cool.
good, bad, bad.
Cool. So on that note, my good TV right now, which we've also talked about this not being your favorite either.
Yeah.
Is a series of unfortunate events.
Yep. Because
I did love the movie, and I think... Oh, I could have sworn we talked about it anyway.
And maybe off recording.
Maybe. So, I loved the movie. I really did. But when they changed aspects of the story and they mixed the Guardians up, it really rubbed me the wrong way. Though I did love Jim Carrey's Olaf. He's very goofy. He's very...
whimsical.
Yes, exactly. But I love Neil Patrick Harris's Olaf.
Yeah, I think you are right in that the TV show is much more to the books.
Yeah.
And the movie is much more fantasy, whimsical.
Yeah, exactly. They definitely played to the fantasy aspect the very beginning with that, like, weird little elf thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, am I in the right movie? And then Lemony Snicket's like, you're in the right movie. And I'm like, oh, okay.
They read your mind.
Okay, Snicket. But yeah, the show, they've done really, really well so far.
Have you started watching the second season?
Yeah, we're almost done. I'm only allowed to watch, like, one episode a day, and it's very upsetting.
Why?
Because Sam doesn't want to binge things anymore. He wants to draw them out now.
What a butthead.
I know. Anyway, so the books were absolutely my favorite things as a kid. And if you try to buy all the books now, it's like $170. There's
really?
like 13 books.
That's true. But same with, like, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh my god. So many. I don't know how I read, like, all those books as a kid. We're trying to get our hands on Sam's sister stole Sam's set of it. Because she's a grade school teacher. Yeah. And it's like, oh, the kids could use these more than we could. But excuse you. I could use them. So Nathan Fillion's in the second season.
Is he really? What does he play?
He's Jacques Snicket.
He's
Lemony Snicket's brother.
Cool.
Yeah. It was funny because he popped up on screen and I was like, holy fucking shit.
Is this happening right now?
I know. It was like, he's fucking back. I love him. I love Nathan Fillion. That's just a fun little tidbit that I wanted to throw in. Because if you want to get excited about a show, Neil Patrick Harris and Nathan Fillion, that's how you do it.
Always a duo.
Exactly.
That I would watch.
Exactly. But yeah, they do really well to tell the story of it, too. Because they don't do, like, one guardian per episode.
Mm-hmm.
They have it split up into two,
mm-hmm.
where the first part of the episode is them, like, getting used to the location and trying to figure out how to, like,
mm-hmm.
deal with it.
Very similar to the faster pace of the movie.
Yeah, it's like, okay, here's how we're doing. Like, when they're at Monty's,
mm-hmm.
the very beginning's all sweet and happy and blah, blah, blah. And then shit hits the fan. And that's how it is with the episode, except for in the second season, Olaf's been chasing them for forever, so they're
mm-hmm.
never comfortable anymore. But it's really, really good. I do think you should at least give it a chance.
I will. Like, I watched the first season, and I haven't watched the second season, but I will.
I love that show. Anyway, that's it.
Cool.
Yay.
My good ones are... My movies are kind of like, and then my TV show's like, duh. So my like number one movie is probably Bright, because we keep talking about getting on like the hype train and loving things or hating things based on whether or not they're too popular or not.
Oh yeah.
So like Benedict Cumberbatch, yeah, you don't like him.
So
this movie got hyped in a very interesting way. It's Bright. I think I said that already, but just in case.
Did not hear anything about this movie until you guys talked to us about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, it was all over the news about how much it sucked. It got shit reviews. And, like, we were like, fuck. Okay, well, we'll give it a try. And we loved it. And so it turns out the conspiracy theory around it is that the big media companies, like Hollywood, paid the reviewers to be like, don't give this movie good reviews because it's like a blockbuster movie that we're not releasing. So the critic rating on like Rotten Tomatoes is something stupid like 20%.
Jesus.
And the fan or the audience view is like 90. So it's dramatically different. And I don't know. It's not, that's really all. I feel like that's 90% of the reason why I like it. Because everyone, like, the critics all hated it, so I'm going to be hipster and love it. But it was actually good. What did I say? I said Will Smith. So I wrote in my notes that when Will Smith became this weird hippie dad, we're going to let our kids get emancipated because we're the cool parents kind of thing. I was like, well, what the fuck? What happened? Because, like, I grew up with Bad Boys, Fresh Prince, kind of Will Smith.
Yeah.
And this was very much a throwback to that. And if you actually just watch the movie for it being a buddy cop movie with some fairies and elves and shit instead of a fantasy Lord of the Rings movie, it's really good. It's like a perfect blending of cultural issues, but in the form of like elves and orcs and fairies, not races and stuff.
But there was like races associated with the elves and orcs and fairies and stuff.
Yeah, there was,
how did they have it set up?
The history of the movie was basically there was this huge war, and the orcs were the bad guys, and they worshipped this like demon, or they worshipped this like high god or something like that, and they lost. Yeah. And so now they're kind of the underdogs, always living in the ghetto, always shit on because they're orcs. And so when this orc becomes a cop, he has no respect, even in humans. Humans are like, what the fuck is he doing here, kind of thing. So it's really like this guy gets partnered with an orc, and everyone's like, haha, dick, you get partnered with the fucking orc. Yeah. And so you're kind of like, I don't know who to feel sorry for in this situation. Yeah. So it's interesting. It's really good. There's actually, it's just a good movie. It's a good action flick. It's just a goofy action flick with magic. And then I wanted to say this side movie because I found out that this was actually distributed by Netflix, but it's not a Netflix original title. Like, that doesn't have the big Netflix words and stuff. We actually just watched this, Hush, and...
Fuck me up.
Did you actually like it?
I did. I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you said it wasn't as bad as Open House. It was
no, like, I mean, so, for a Netflix, I'm gonna kill them because they're home. It was not, like, as bad as Open House.
Yeah. I feel like it was more on par with Strangers. Yeah. But it debuted at the big film festival, South by Southwest, and it was only distributed by Netflix. But either way, it was a good horror movie It was a good, whatever you just said. And then I wrote that because we rag on horror so much. I wanted to be like, Netflix got a little bit of a win by distributing a good horror movie.
I know. In my brain, though, I don't know if it's horror.
It's still not to me.
Yeah,
honestly.
It's like a thriller, like a suspense,
mystery, crime,
action, suspense. Thriller.
I think on IMDb it's mystery, thriller, horror, like all three.
Yeah,
in the top. Either way, but it's the guy who I was talking about. The guy who did Oculus. He did Before I Wake. He actually did a Netflix original. He did Before I Wake.
I liked Before I Wake.
And then he also did Ouija, Origin of Evil, which we also just recently saw.
Yes.
And did you like that?
Yes.
A lot of people are really hit and miss. Because, like, I didn't really like Before I Wake.
Yeah.
And Oculus was just so-so. It was good, but it was just so-so.
I like it because it's definitely a lot more psychological.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's all psychological.
Yeah, I'm very, very big on psychological horror. Psychological and paranormal horror are my favorite things.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to, like, slashers and gore and just, like, thrillers and stuff, they're good. I really like them. But if it's psychological or if it has to do with, like, ghosts and demons and shit, though, it's, like, getting to my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that Oculus was, like... I loved Oculus because you didn't really know what the fuck was going on.
That was fucking crazy.
That was so good.
I love it.
Well, my TV show is Stranger Things.
Yes.
And that's why I said duh. Because if you don't like Stranger Things, you're not
wrong.
my friend.
Yeah. Your opinion is yours, but you're wrong.
Exactly. And I actually said, I mean, not like I haven't been talking about the show in almost every episode.
It's fine. Somehow we tie back to it.
It's Stranger Things. MK Ultra, Stranger Things.
Right?
I don't even know if I really need to go into it. It's just a good fucking show.
I mean, for the crowd in the back, in the way back.
The nosebleeds.
Yeah, who haven't
seen it, a general premise.
Seen it or even cared to see it because it's so hyped.
Yeah.
We also definitely recommend it. Mm-hmm. Just everything about it is so good. And I love that it's very...
Sorry, keep talking.
Retro, go.
Yeah. So, I actually wrote, because I originally talked about this when we first recorded it, Stranger Things, but I didn't really go into why I liked it. And there is a theory. So when I was in graphic design school, my motion graphics teacher, he worked for a bunch of like big companies in Los Angeles. One was Imaginary Forces. And Imaginary Forces does like titles. They did Jessica Jones, the opening titles. They did Stranger Things. And when we were like almost at the end of the semester, he was like, I'm working on a big secret project with Imaginary Forces, and there's a theory that this is what he was working on.
Aww.
So it's kind of cool that I might or might not know someone who worked on the titles.
Oh, I like it.
And the opening theme song is like,
I don't know if
it's my ringtone right now, but it was my ringtone. But I love it. It's good.
It's so good.
So I just finished my good. You can move on to your bad. This should be fun.
I'm so mad.
I'm so excited.
I'm so mad. I wasted a lunch break on this.
You wasted a lunch break?
Yeah, I was so determined to watch this the day it released that I wasted my lunch break on it.
So your first bad, or your absolutely worst bad movie?
Fucking Death Note.
Yeah.
Okay.
We agree absolutely on this, although I am not nearly as passionate about this as you are. I went into it thinking it was just going to be some horror movie.
It's not even good as a horror movie.
I know, it's terrible. It's really bad.
So, okay, Kayla here hasn't seen the anime.
Nope.
Which is fine.
Or the movie.
I still respect her.
Only a little bit less.
It's fine. Okay. I have a lot of issues with this movie. Mostly from, like, a don't fucking give Seattle a bad name vibe. And just a complete difference kind of situation too. So in my notes, I decided to go as far with my anger as to put side-by-sides of the anime characters with the movie characters.
So yeah, you got like this giant grid of images for the anime light and the movie light, and then he's got like a fucking creepy bat pig nose. I don't like it.
I love him. Duke is my favorite. Which the only good thing about the movie was Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was literally the only good thing. And even then, they still did Ryuk totally wrong. So we're going to start with Light, because I want to start with Light. Because I really, really liked Light.
Light.
Light. So Light Yagami he's a pretty good kid. He's a really good student. Like, he's pretty normal, but the Death Note, like, falls out of the sky because Ryuk dropped it. And later you find out that Ryuk was like, I just wanted to see what would happen. But, so Light gets a hold of the Death Note, and after a little bit of, moral dilemma, because it, basically, if you write the person's name, but have also seen their face in the book, then they die. So, Light has this, internal dilemma of, that's not morally right. But eventually he gets into it and he starts playing this vigilante game where he starts killing criminals, people that deserve it,
bullies and stuff.
Yeah.
The movie Light seemed more like, haha, now I can finally kill all these bad people.
Yeah, he played God, and in the anime Ryuk actually says don't play God, because if you play God, it's just a personality flaw.
Yeah.
Playing God makes you a boring person.
Yeah.
But, Turner, he's basically edgelord 101.
Yes.
He's moody, he's angsty, he's got the stupid highlighted hair. Yeah, he's just a dickhole. But he gets the Death Note, and then he starts talking to this, cheerleader girlfriend of his. And he starts talking to this, cheerleader girlfriend, because he's had his eyes on this girl. Yeah, I think you remember that. He's, in the bleachers being all fucking moody. Anyway.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. So he in order to make money, he does other kids' homework.
Doesn't he does that in the movie?
Yeah.
Does he not do that in the anime?
Not that I can remember. In the anime, he, eats chips with the TV in front of him, in the chip bag, and he's writing names in the Death Note because he's, studying while he's eating chips. He's like, I eat a chip, I watch the screen, then I write the name, then I eat another chip.
Jesus.
It's actually a pretty intense scene. I really like that scene. But so he gets a hold of the Death Note and he reads all the rules and stuff, and he just fucking goes to town.
Yeah.
There's no moral conflict.
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's no moral conflict about it. He just fucking kills anything he can because he's like, this is fun. I want to keep doing this.
Yeah. I can make a difference because my life sucks.
Yeah, exactly. So, they both treat their girlfriend like crap. Light in the actual anime treats, Mika. Oh, it's Misa. I forgot. Anyway, so Misa, she, is absolutely in love with, Kira, which is Light, being his, vigilante justice, and she figures out it's Light, and she, kind of attaches to him.
In the
anime.
Okay.
Yeah. In the movie, I don't remember what his fucking girlfriend's name was. I don't give a shit.
But she does something similar, but for,
for her own, her own shitty personal reasons, yeah. But, Light in the anime through the whole time treats Misa like shit. But Mr. Turner in here, he treats his girlfriend pretty okay up until the very end.
And then he realizes that she's just using him.
Yeah, she's using him, and so he does this giant, I'm gonna write everything down one by one, and then he says, don't take it. Yeah. Because he wanted to, defy the Death Note. It's fucking stupid. Anyways, that's enough about Light, because I fucking hate him.
You could go on and on and on.
Yeah, I really could. So Ryuk, he actually talks about the fact that in the Shinigami world, in the anime, he talks about the fact that he was just bored. Yeah. And he dropped the Death Note. And so, he's just looking to have a good time. He thinks chaos is fun. He loves apples, and that's my favorite. Because in the middle world, that Shinigami world, the apples taste like fucking sand.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so he comes, down in Earth, the apples taste, juicy and delicious, and he fucking loves apples.
That's when I went to South Africa, my family was like, you need to bring us real maple syrup. Because they don't have maple syrup down there. They only have, the Buttersworth shit. Oh, no. And so they were like, just bring all of it. And so I packed, 5 or 6 of those, maple leaf shaped glasses.
I love it. Oh, my gosh.
Anyway.
But yeah, Ryuk, he's a chill dude. He's got some, moral standards to him. With the whole, playing God just is a bad personality trait.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ryuk in the movie scares the shit out of Light. Like, goes in and destroys that classroom.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That whole fucking stupid scene. So in the anime, Ryuk just, like, shows up, and he's like,
sup? I'm your friend.
He's, like, in Light's bedroom. He's like, hey, this is a thing you're dealing with now, and only you can see me unless I want somebody else to see me.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. The movie Ryuk, he, while Light is, like, killing people in the movie, he's just kind of like, this is fun. Like, I don't give a fuck what you do. There's no repercussion of it. Yeah. You're totally fine. And he's just kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And I think, if I can remember correctly, because I was so fucking blackout raged about it, if I can remember correctly, basically what he was saying was that, like, if you don't use this to kill people, then I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that not how it goes in the anime?
Not that I can remember. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a way to get rid of the Death Note. I don't remember. But, it definitely isn't, hey, I'll kill you. Mm-hmm. I think there is, like, a somehow I'll kill you clause in there.
But it seems like...
I think it was if you write my name in it, then I'll kill you.
Oh.
Like, if you write Ryuk's name in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but Ryuk in the movie is just, like, chaos and murder and, hey, let's fuck shit up while we can. And he's not a good dude.
No.
So there's being bored, and then there's wanting to cause absolute fucking chaos.
Yeah.
And
that's...
the movie was so bad. But not really relevant to...
I kept waiting for it to get good. And then...
It never gets good.
It never got good.
It never gets good. And they're like, oh, I'll actually talk about this. Because the next thing we're talking about is my husband. L is the cutest. I actually love him.
Oh, this guyliner.
So, the anime L is just a precious angel. He's smart as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like the Joker to Light's Batman.
Okay.
Like, he knows, he has this, like, suspicion in the back of his head that Light is Kira. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, he kind of knows, but Light, for a little bit, he gives the Death Note away for a little bit and forgets all about it. And he's trying to find Kira. Because I think he writes into the future who should die. Because you can do that. You can put time and date, and that person will die on that time and date.
That's what they really emphasize that in the movie.
Yeah. So that is an actual thing that the Death Note does. And so I think he rewrites everything for the future, and then while he's like trying to find Kira, people are still dying. Mm-hmm. And so L's like, oh, it must not be Light, and then Light gets the Death Note back, and then it's very obviously Light. Have you watched Riverdale?
Yeah.
So, I think it's Cole Sprouse,
mm-hmm.
whatever Sprouse brother it is, how he sits with his knees up on chairs, his heels are on this. So he gets that from this show.
Huh.
And he's very specifically stated that he got that from L.
Being this weird little nerdy kid who
because that's what he does.
Down. Yeah.
That's what he does. He'll hop into a chair and he'll be in this weird frog stance. He's constantly eating some sort of sweet, and it's typically cake. It helps him. L.
Okay.
It helps him. He doesn't sleep a wink.
Doesn't in the movie he's eating hard candies or something?
I don't remember.
I remember him eating. When you said that, I was like, oh, did he eat? I don't know.
When I was trying to look up a picture of the movies L, fucking nothing came up for forever, and I was pissed.
Yeah. Well, it's because you barely see his face. And isn't it the guy from...
He shows his face almost immediately.
Isn't it the guy from Get Out? The first guy who gets kidnapped.
Oh, maybe. First. I didn't see Get Out.
You didn't see Get Out? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Nope.
We have to watch that.
Sorry.
I'm gonna make a whole folder on my Plex, and when I come over, we're just all the time, all the movies.
Do it, please. Anyway, Death Note. There we go. He's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely are playing cat and mouse, and he's definitely the Joker to Light's Batman.
Is he a coder in the anime too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he, you end up finding out that he's part of this academy where it's him and his, I don't know if it's actually his little brother, but the people who are trained with him,
mm-hmm.
they're trained for exactly this, to be the world's best detectives and cops and stuff like that, but not cops. That's just mostly cool. Detectives.
Yeah.
Really fucking cool.
PIs.
Yeah. It's it gets really in depth.
In the show?
Yeah. Like, it is a humongous game of cat and mouse, which is really fun. It keeps the suspense going for the show.
That seems like something that would draw me to it.
Exactly. You should watch it.
I actually liked that portion of the movie.
Yeah, just the cat and mouse.
That plot line specifically. I liked their little game.
So the cat and mouse in the movie is unstable as fuck.
Oh, it is. And they had to do it real fast because they only had like an hour and a half.
Yeah, which is dumb. I'm not a fan of the cat and mouse from the movie because it's like, oh, shootout. Oh, I'm gonna fucking get you. He like shows his face instantly, whereas Elle in the anime, he's very concealed. Anytime he talks, it's just the letter L. So, very hidden. Though, one of my favorite things actually about the anime is Elle just kind of approaches Light in, like, the school. He's like, hey. Like, he just shows up in the
movie. He does it in the diner.
Yeah. Does he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He just comes in and, like,
blackout rage. It's like a blackout rage.
He's just like, I just knew I hated it.
Right? I don't know. It's like, the movie Elle was just kind of mean. He was very much like, I'm gonna catch you and I'm gonna fucking get you.
Yeah, like very sociopath.
Yeah.
Very sociopath.
Yeah. He drove me fucking nuts. But all in all, I think the reason why the characters drove me so nuts was because the writing was just awful on its own. Yeah. Like, you can't have good characters, you can't have good acting if you don't have good writing.
As we saw with Truth or Dare.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's the fucking worst.
Anywho,
I'm gonna stop being so angry about Death Note for a second. I'm gonna talk about my show.
You're gonna be angry about something else.
Oh, I'm gonna be a different kind of angry for something else. Do you remember last time we talked about this and I was, like, shaking?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You had to keep, like, stopping. You were like, focus.
I have to, like, collect myself for this kind of shit.
Well, you don't have to go too much into depth about it.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
So, Selena Gomez picked up the rights to a book.
Which automatically for me is like, I'm not watching this.
Good. So, Selena Gomez picked up the rights to the book 13 Reasons Why and made a TV show out of it with Netflix. So, it's more of a personal qualm for me with 13 Reasons Why than anything. The writing is really good. Yeah. Because the acting is really good.
It's a top on all the lists.
Yeah. It is really good. But if you really break it down into, like, things that are absolutely traumatizing
and triggering,
it's super fucking triggering. So people play this game of like, oh, trigger warnings are stupid and triggers are stupid and fake, everyone's a special snowflake. I want you to watch fucking suicide on screen and tell me that that's not, like, emotionally traumatizing. Yeah. So the show is really good, but they show all this really shitty stuff, like her committing suicide, and they show her rape by, like, showing her face just doing the jerking forward movement and stuff.
You said that they show it in increments.
Yeah, they, like, do flashbacks towards it. And so there's two big rape scenes, and one is when she's getting raped, and the other one is when, like, her friend is getting raped.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. There's more than one?
Oh, yeah. So one of them, she's in the closet at a party, and she's just, like, hiding. I forgot what she was hiding out, but she was really upset, so she was just hiding out. Mm-hmm. And then the friend's boyfriend takes her to bed because she's, like, shit-faced drunk. And then the boyfriend's friend, like, pushes him out of the way and goes in and rapes her.
Jesus. Oh my god.
It's really fucked up.
I don't want to see this.
But she doesn't remember it.
Well, yeah.
So she is totally convinced it didn't happen. But because these tapes went out,
she got reminded all over again.
But she doesn't believe it. She called her a liar. She was like, Hannah's a fucking liar. Like, so.
Well, I mean, I kind of get that. Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to admit that it happened even to yourself, you're going to try everything to make the other person look bad.
Exactly. And so, from how they make it seem for a while, they make it seem like the boyfriend did nothing to stop it. Mm-hmm. Whereas the boyfriend did stop it. He, like, tried to really hard, and he almost got his ass beat because he's, like, half the size of his friend.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But so basically she's got these tapes. I think it is 13 tapes. And they're being distributed by one of her really, really close friends, who basically, if the 13 people don't listen to the tapes, or if they, like, go and talk or do something, then the tapes are going to get released to everybody.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So think his name is Ronnie. He is tasked to watching these people, making sure they listen to the tapes in full and don't just pass them forward.
So, spoiler alert, since there's more than one season, did they all...
They covered the entire book in the first season. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with the second season, but they covered the entire book. The only thing that they're missing is the tape. I think we're on the last person who's supposed to, last or second to last person who's supposed to read the tapes, and it's the rapist. Oh. So he doesn't know yet.
So that's
probably what season 2 is going to be.
Just that one person?
Maybe. Which I think is fucking stupid.
That seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
It should have been like a mini-series.
It should have. But no. So when they said they were doing a season 2, I was like, how the fuck do you even do a season 2 when there's only one book? Yeah. So now they're going to take integrity with whatever they do. And it could be good, it could be really bad. But if you don't have a book to follow, I don't believe it's going to be good.
They're making up storylines that either don't make sense with the original plot or are completely not what it should be.
The only way it might be okay is if they work with the original author.
Which they might.
They might. But anyway, they repeat the rape scenes constantly. They talk about it constantly. They show her physical suicide on screen. And they don't do, like, music and stuff to, like, hide what's happening. It's quiet.
Oh, I hate that shit.
Yeah. Ugh. And she, like, it's quiet. She, like, freaks out because she does the whole, like, grunting and, like, wincing in pain and stuff. It's really sad. And then her mom fucking comes in and starts screeching. Ugh. It's traumatizing. Like, even if you're not triggered by anything, like, if this shit, like, rolls over you, which I know a lot of people that it does, it's okay, it's not a character flaw, but if it rolls over you, even that's traumatic, because you can't help but put yourself in that position and think about your family. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's really fucking traumatizing.
Oh, it's terrible.
Well, and the moral of the story of the actual show is it very closely resembles the walk up not out movement. The be friends with the weird kids movement,
or they'll shoot up your school, basically.
Yeah, this one is basically
be nice or they'll kill themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good way to live by, but you can't be nice to everybody with the fear in the back of your head that they're gonna fucking kill themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you're in high school, everything gets to you, and there are just some people who just can't handle it.
Yeah, and I mean, when you really break it down, people were calling Hannah, like, selfish and shit. A lot of crazy shit happened. And I mean, yeah, she took a lot of stuff really personally that didn't really matter. But I don't know. I don't know anybody that's recovered well from getting raped, watching their friend get raped, and, like, having nobody believe them. So
yeah, I mean, you know that from me. That's one of my anxiety triggers is just, like, if I'm trying to convince someone of something that I 1000% know is true or possible, and they're sitting there absolutely denying me, and I'm like, please believe me. There's no further way that I can convince you otherwise. It gets me down. Yeah, it's really fucking awful.
It's definitely sympathy porn.
Yeah. Like, I don't actually know what that is, but sure.
I mean, I don't think that's the right term. I read the real term on some sort of blog, or somebody posted about it, something like that. But it's basically feeding off of people's sympathy for sympathy's sake. Yeah, like, that makes sense. She, it's emotional torture porn. That's what it is. Because she's sending these, like, X amount of tapes to 13 different people just so they're like, oh, this is what happened and you should feel bad about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's real messed up.
Yeah, and it's like the main character you're following was her friend. Like, he was in love with her.
And she wants him to feel bad.
Yeah, and she basically said, like, oh, you got these tapes because you didn't do anything about it. What? Yeah, it was something. Ugh. Something in the end happened, and he, like, I don't know, he said something mean to her, like, once. Oh, and then the next day she was dead.
Oh, God. And so Way to make that live on your conscience for the rest of your life.
Right? And so he gets these tapes, and in the very beginning of the tapes, it says, like, if you have these tapes, you're one of the 13 reasons why I died. And he's like, what the fuck? Yeah. So the entire show, up until his tape, he's like, what the fuck did I do? These are all very awful things. What did I do? And she's like, you get these tapes because you didn't stop it, or you didn't stop me, or something like that. Like, they got in a fight, and he left. Some shitty stuff like that.
So, like, she's trying to make him feel guilty about her committing suicide?
Yeah.
Like,
well, he's trying to make all of them feel guilty about it, but yeah.
But, like, the actual act of it. So he didn't stop her from going inside and...
That was it. So he didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was something really fucking stupid with him. So he's reason number 11. Hannah makes it clear that he is not one of the reasons for why she killed herself. He was the only one she was actually fond of, and while everyone else was on her hit list, she just wanted him to be on the tape because he was/is part of her story.
Sounds a little bit better, but that's really fucked up to make him listen to all that bullshit.
Clay is the only person on the tape who did nothing wrong, but was included as part of her story. So basically, the problem, they got in a fight because Hannah had a mental breakdown, and Clay didn't stay. So he's on the tapes because he respected her wishes. She said, get out, and he said, okay.
Yeah.
And that's why he's on the tape, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, when I read the book when I was younger, my cousin gave me the book while we were on a camping trip. I loved the book. Absolutely loved it. It was well written. It was really good. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot less like sympathy porn. It was very much like, oh, this is really shitty. But it was a lot less sympathy porn. Yeah. And then now there's a season 2.
Yay! With the maximum sarcasm possible.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your stuff?
My bad. My bad is my movie bad is something that we also agree on, which is the pretty little thing that lives inside the house.
I am the pretty thing in the house that lives in the house.
Something like that. So I'm not going to rag on it too much because...
She's creepy.
It's creepy. It does get under your skin. It's a beautiful film.
So pretty.
It's very gothic. What did I write? I said it came straight out of an Edgar Allan Poe poem. Like, it could have been one of his. And who fucking knows, it might have been. Maybe. I just don't really read that stuff. I didn't like the actor they got. The main girl. I think...
She was, like, really dramatic.
Well, I know her from a BBC show called Luther, where I've
heard about it.
Idris Elba, and he's like a DCI, whatever their fucking British thing is. And she's like the bad person. She's the villain. So, like, seeing her in this, like, meek and mousy little woman... It was kind of night and day, and it was weird.
She's too afraid to read a book.
Exactly.
She's a scaredy cat.
Yeah. So, it's not a horror, and that was our biggest thing, is that it wasn't a horror, but they labeled it as this creepy, ghost haunting thing. For me, it was more of a psychological thriller thing.
I don't even know if it was a thriller. It was just like an artsy...
Gothic drama.
Yeah, drama. That's the word.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it does get, like, spooky. Mm-hmm. Like, when her hand starts to rot over the kitchen sink. That stuff.
And, like, the whispers and then the actual ghost that you see is
She's
horror.
Creepy.
Yeah.
She's creepy. I, like, started to really think about her posture and her shape based off of...
The turning and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, based off of what the old woman said, how, like, you turned on me so many times that your feet face the wrong way.
Which is really creepy.
It's really fucking creepy, because her feet are face forward. I think her waist and her head are faced backwards. Mm-hmm. But her, like, arms are also weirdly upside down and, like, twisted, too.
Yeah.
It was really fucking creepy.
Yeah, it looks like her head was just twisted around on her body, basically.
But then her feet were still forward. She wasn't walking backwards. Her toes were pointed forward, and her arms were back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking creepy.
Oh, I have to look at that again.
It's creepy.
Anyways, I think it's only like an hour and a half.
Something short like that.
But I said that it could have been just a short film.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been just a novella type film. It didn't have to be an hour and a half. No. And I think that's why I was just kind of upset that it was a waste of my time, and I was expecting ghosty, because the trailer made it seem like boo ghost.
Yeah, which the only, like, boo thing about that whole movie was the phone. Yeah. When the phone gets ripped out of her hands.
And that happens in the first, 5 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. She's, like, on the phone with her friend, and...
It's like, yank.
Yeah.
And you go, and then nothing else happens.
God, it's so pretty.
It really is. The costuming was really good, too.
Gorgeous. Her dress was gorgeous. The scene with her husband.
I don't remember that scene. You keep talking about that.
So, they get the house.
Yeah. It's in the story that the old woman is writing, right?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but they get the house, and she is blindfolded to explore the house for the very first time, and he's, like, in the doorway with, like, a hatchet in his hand.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so she's exploring, and he's, like, slowly following after her, and they get into the hallway area where the wood panels are out, and he kills her and then shoves her into that spot in the wall. So you can, like, see the thing right here. So, like, yeah, her feet are faced this way, but her torso is this way.
Yeah. It's like the middle of her was cut in half and then, like, rotated.
But on the actual Netflix, like, preview, her arms are behind her and upside down.
Oh, so they did that wrong. Like...
I think it was intentional. As, like, a development thing. Fucking creepy.
I don't know. It's creepy and it's beautiful. It was a waste of my time. It was a waste of my time horror-wise, and I didn't really like the main character. It could have been a lot shorter, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But, again, like with yours, 13 Reasons Why being more personal, I think that was the same thing. It's more of a personal opinion.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's a beautiful movie, but it's probably one of the worst ones for me because it's just so boring.
Yeah, the pacing... There's no pacing to it.
There's nothing. It's like a single line.
Yeah, and she talks about, like... The girl talks about, like, I am 28 years old.
Over and over and over and over.
Yeah, like we all know she's emphasizing the fact that she's gonna die that day. Because she's, like, retelling her own story. Mm-hmm. But it's just weird.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
It's a good artsy film, but other than that, not
it's
so
pretty.
much.
The murder scene is fun. Even though Kayla doesn't remember it. You don't remember her blindfolded in her pretty white
really
dress?
Don't.
Oh, she had this really cool, like, hat on with all the flowers and stuff.
Oh, sure.
Pretty.
My TV show, Bad, is Hemlock Grove. And I know. It's a good thing. So I gave it the benefit of the doubt because it was one of Netflix's first major TV shows after The Killing or during The Killing, and then Orange is the New Black, like right because Orange
was the very beginning.
Yeah,
that was one of the first ones.
Yeah, Orange is the New Black is one of the longest running ones. So it's insanely awesome. The first season, it's like a combination of psychological and thriller, and then you add vampires and werewolves, and then this weird alien creature thing. It's a bunch of stuff.
I really wanted to watch it. I just never did.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot, but the character development is actually really good. You start caring about the main guy. And then the second season.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me this, that it was good until the second season.
Yes. It was the first season, if you want to just watch it for it being a good creature feature TV show, is good. Just don't
get
follow.
Attached.
Yeah, don't get attached and don't follow the cliffhanger. Just leave it
just
at the
leave
first.
It.
Yeah. With the creatures, it does. So like the vampires are all super romancy and they are seductive and interesting. But I will say that it does have. So when Flynn watches a werewolf movie with me or TV show or whatever, the werewolf transition from human to wolf or
is easy.
Is bad most of the time.
Yeah.
This one actually is the most interesting one I've ever seen.
Why? Do they emphasize the fact that it hurts like fuck?
Yes.
Good.
He literally pops his skin out. So like his skin starts. So I think what happens originally is his mouth like breaks. His jaw breaks open.
Yeah.
And the wolf head comes out. And then it like starts popping his spine. And it's just really cool. It's not really well done.
But it's cool.
It could have, if it was made like now, they could have done it really well with CGI.
It's better than just boom, werewolf.
Yeah.
I am a puppy.
Or like it like goes behind something and they come out and they're a wolf or same. Whatever. That is it really. It was bad other than that. It actually has the guy who played it, Pennywise, something Skarsgård.
Bill
Skarsgård. He was a vampire. And then it has Famke Janssen as his mother.
Who?
She was in X-Men, the original series of X-Men. She was Jean Grey.
Ah, my baby.
Yeah, she's sexy.
She's hot.
But yeah, so if you want to do a good creature feature, watch the first season, but don't think anything of it. Honestly, when I was looking at all the lists of like the worst and the best, a lot of the bad ones were comedies, like a lot of the Adam Sandler ones. Yeah.
Oh God, what was that show called? The one with Kathy Bates.
The Disjointed.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was on like the worst one. I think it was canceled.
Yeah, it was canceled, and it was really only those. It was one of those shows that you had to be high to see it
to really
funny.
Enjoy it. And
yeah,
I think it's actually funny that Netflix can't do a lot of things really good. It doesn't really do comedy. It doesn't really do horror.
They're really good at dramas.
Exactly. But so I couldn't decide between this one or the other one, or Hemlock Grove and Requiem. It's a brand new TV show that just came out like 2 months ago. And it is a Netflix show for the United States. But it was originally a BBC show. And I did not know that. They were like acquisitioned.
Oh, interesting.
So like Netflix was like, hey BBC, can we steal your show? And then we'll put our name on it and you'll get more money kind of thing. So I couldn't really put that on my worst Netflix ones because to me it's not a Netflix show. But it does have like the Netflix red. Anyways. What did I say earlier? I said that the first 15 minutes gets you. You're hooked. And then immediately throws you into a giant fiery pile of shit.
Yeah. And I said, ooh, stinky.
It's awful. So like the whole thing, I couldn't even get through the first episode. The first episode felt like a 2-hour movie, but it was 50 minutes. I literally looked at my watch like 6 times.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, Sam, we were going through our Netflix list and stuff because our Netflix got so fucked up that he just created a new profile. Mm-hmm. We were going through and he saw it and he like watched the trailer and stuff and he was like, do you think I should add this to your list? And I was like,
it looks really good from the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer makes it look good. And then I realized what it was and I was like, oh no.
Fuck. It's awful. And you know what? I didn't even give it my normal 2 or 3 episodes. So that's bad on me. It could have gotten really good.
Yeah.
But I'm not willing to sit through another 2 episodes of me going, what the fuck time is it? You know? Because
you know what I'm really excited for that released yesterday? Lost in Space.
Me too. Flynn too. I was like, when should we watch this? And he's like, oh no, what did he say? I'm like, oh, whatever. And I was like, cool, we'll watch it on Tuesday. And he's like, all right, we'll watch it tomorrow. I'm like, that's not
Tuesday. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, I'm really excited. I tried to get Sam to watch it today just to be like, we should watch this. And he's like, no, because Chef's Table released yesterday too. Which we actually, they talk about Milk Bar, that bakery in New York where they do the cereal milk.
Oh. Yeah. I've never heard of that.
Oh my gosh, look into Milk Bar. Actually, just watch that Chef Table episode. It is really cool. She actually had me hooked. Because really I'm not a sweets person. I don't care about sweets. But just listening to her story and stuff, she was really cool. Milk Bar. And they do wedding cakes.
Oh.
And she hates frosting cakes. So it's wedding cakes where all the tears are visible.
Oh.
It's really cool.
That's really neat.
Really expensive. Really cool.
Anyways, I'm done. Because we're over an hour now. Again.
It's fine. We were told to be longer.
Yeah.
So,
we were told to be longer. Honestly, we could spend like 5 fucking hours talking about all the Netflix originals.
Oh my God.
When we first recorded this, it was so long. It was so long. And
it was bad. It was hard. It was hard to get through.
Yeah.
I think we did better this time.
So.
I think we did better. I hope we did better.
Much more entertaining, I think. The next episode is...
Sociopaths.
Yes. I'll be covering the movie Sociopath People, and you'll be doing the...
IRL peoples.
Yeah.
Yay.
There's so many.
There are so many.
It could be one of those things where it's like, there's only so many because we see them in the news.
True.
But there's probably not actually that many.
Actually, no, there is. There definitely is a lot of sociopaths. They're just really good at making you think they're not sociopaths. Fun. Anyway.
We'll figure that out next time.
It's fun.
Anyways.
So.
Exits.
Yes. Our Patreon has been up for a while. I don't know why we keep saying it's up and running. But
we should just say the Patreon is this.
We should. Anyway, so our Patreon, you can find us at RAHM Podcast. Mm-hmm. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at RAHM Podcast.
Go join the group.
Oh,
no one's part of our group yet.
Cool. Yeah, we have a Facebook group we have a Facebook group for patrons and we have a Facebook group for non-patrons, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you want to join the Facebook group, definitely look us up. You can also follow our personal Instagrams, and Kayla is at the KDub, and I'm at Interstellar Camper. And that's about it.
I think that's it.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you guys for listening.
Bye.